no. Where did Mayor Dancy go? There he is. Good
Hello.
morning.
He just stepped into the room. Good morning, everybody, for Brewtiful Morning in Rutherfordton. This July the 8th, 2022. Thank you for joining us again each Friday morning at 8:30. Thanks again to Magnolia and Doug for getting us online. This is the mornings we tried to bring to you what's happening in our community, things that we maybe accomplished this past week, but also things that we're working toward in the future. We strive to try and work in our community to try to find out what the needs are. That is a challenge even in just itself to find out what the needs, but that's only the first step. After you find out what the needs are, the next big step is what are you going to do about it? That's one of the things we're going to be talking about today with a very special guest. We found a need and we found some partners that's going to assist us not only for now, but in the future. So I'm excited about our guest today and what I think we're going to be talking about. So thank you again for joining us. Join us each Friday morning at 8:30. Doug, Magnolia, I'll turn it over to you to introduce our special guest.
Well, Mayor, you're exactly right. One of the things that we've been working on, gosh, it seems like for the past 5, even maybe 6 years now, if I really think back through some of our council workshops and directives in our process of our action plans. And so our action plans, for those that watch, you know that we survey the community to kind of get a vibe from the community through data about what the community wants the town to be working on. We follow that up with information from our department heads and our mayor and our council. And we put together a set of actionable goals. Housing has been the forefront of those goals for some time now. And we have been working to try to affect housing in our community. Some of you know that Magnolia and the work that she's doing with the Redevelopment Commission, we are working on a housing study right now for the town. I'll just give you a couple things real quick. For those that have tried to get into multifamily housing, apartment housing, so whether that be seniors, workforce housing, or just market rate apartments, there are 386 units of apartments inside the city limits of Rutherfordton that encompass 13 different properties. There is no vacancy in any of those properties right now. So we know that that's a challenge. We know that housing is a challenge when it comes to housing for sale. Right now, there are 19 homes for sale inside the city limits of Rutherfordton. Only 4 of those are below $200,000. And so we know that there's a demand. The housing study is going to show so much more information, but I want to release a little bit of data. At the same time, I want to introduce an amazing partner in the Gateway Foundation and Neil Gurney, who's their executive director. Neil, I'm going to introduce you real quick, and I'd like for you to introduce Terry because I know Terry is a partner of yours, but Neil had come to us through some conversations with housing assistants in Henderson County back 4 years ago when Sarah was their executive director there. She's now moved on to Dogwood Trust, and we have been able to form a relationship that has kind of showed its fruits in what we're going to talk about today in a new subdivision and some new homes. But Neil, I'm not going to steal all your thunder. Thank you for being on this morning. Thanks for being a great partner throughout this whole process. We've been blessed to call you guys a partner, and I'm excited to introduce you to everybody.
Thank you, Doug, and good morning, everyone. And right back at you in terms of partnership. I mean, this whole project would not have happened without the town and without Broad River Water, without local guys that are working there, both doing the construction work as well as doing the design work for us. So it really has been a partnership coming together, which is unusual. We work in 4 counties. So Gateway Wellness Foundation is a foundation that serves as a grant-making foundation initially. It was formed out of the sale of Mission Health, and basically a local foundation was formed out of that, and it serves 4 counties, Rutherford County being one of those. And we branched into housing for the same reason that Doug spoke about, is that the need is just so massive across the entire area. About 1,500 housing units needed in Rutherford County alone, just that county. This is from a study that Dogwood did. Dogwood did a needs-based study of what's needed in the area. A lot of those are senior housing as well. So a tremendous need. And as you mentioned, Doug, there's absolutely no vacancies. So if you're trying to get an apartment, you have to know somebody to be able to get in to get it. The numbers related to sales is that normally you have a ratio of what's on the market and what's the number of houses available in the area and the number of houses that are on the market, and that should be about 3 to 5%. It's less than 1% at the moment, so it's about 0.4%. It's less than 0.5%, in fact. So the availability of houses, and if you go into the 200,000 and below houses, it's like 0.1%. So it is minuscule in terms of finding a house out there that you can live in. And we came into the area seeing that the workforce is the area that's most needed. And workforce is a category that's used often, but really we're talking about anybody earning something from around about $28,000 a year to $52,000 a year. And there's a reason for that. And Terry, I'll introduce Terry in a minute. And Terry will tell you the loan that we work with fits into that category. So that's typical workforce housing is 28,000 to about 52,000 is the category that we go for. Housing sales around about starting at 175 and moving up to sort of 205 in the price of housing. So we've got various different housing options. So that's the group, that's the area and the category we went to. I'm not going to go into too much detail yet. We'll talk about the development itself, but that's who Gateway is. We really are focusing on housing in the area. And we also do grant making to different organizations in the area as well. So we do a bit of both. Terry Valentino works for Go to the Hub, and the Hub is Terry can talk a bit more about the Hub itself, but we partnered with the Hub to do this loan called the 502 loan. It's a phenomenal loan. Very few people know about it out there. It's probably the best kept secret out there in terms of the ability to get people into a house. I'm going to move that on to Terry. So Terry's the person to talk to when it comes to the loan piece. We're the people to talk to when it comes to the housing piece and what's available. Terry, I'll hand it on to you.
Okay. Thank you, Neil. And thank you for the invitation to join. I'll start off with a little bit about the direct loan program. It's called a 502 direct loan, and it's available through the USDA Rural Development. It's a department in the U.S. Department of Agriculture. What it means for Rutherford County is Rutherford is a approved area for these loans. And so it makes loans available at a low interest for very low and low income individuals. The payment is usually based on income, and there are some limits. You cannot make above $52,300 for Rutherford County as a household income, unless you have a family larger than 4. Families larger than 4, it goes up to 60-some thousand. Usually there's no down payment required. That there are exceptions. That's if someone brings assets. Those assets will be considered, but otherwise, usually there's no down payment. Most of the closing costs can be financed, and the interest rate is usually lower than conventional loans. It's currently at 3.25. And the process for an individual it can be lengthy because we are making an application through the government. However, we're here to help people walk through each step of that. The first step is pre-qualification. And once the pre-qualification process is put in place, we do a pre-application preview or review. And once someone gets through that, we're able to tell them if it looks like they would be a good candidate to apply. And then we start the application process. They'll have to gather some paperwork, of course, and then we submit that. And then the process is that it will be reviewed by USDA, and they will make a determination of whether they issue a certificate of eligibility. If they do that, then there's a process for approving the property.
That's pretty exciting. I guess one of the questions I would have is when somebody goes through that loan process, I know you talked about, the 52,000 as the top end. So let's say somebody gets in there, hypothetically, maybe they're making in the mid 40s.
Mhm.
3 years from now they get a pretty good promotion, they're up above say 55,000. Does that affect their loan? Are they gonna have to look at a refinance structure, or is that just the initial start process of that loan procedure?
They may have to report when they have an increase or when their household income changes. That's part of it. And then they will look at that and determine whether anything needs to be changed. But no, they do not have to go through the process of having a new reapplication done.
Well, that's great. That's an amazing opportunity. So Neil, I know the 502 loan process is how people are getting into homes. And for those that are not aware, you guys are in the process moving dirt, putting in curb and gutter, and getting ready to start I already put in some homes. But you want to tell folks about the location, where you guys are in Rutherfordton, kind of a little bit about the property. And we can show, I know we've got some graphics to show, but I'd love for you to introduce the property and the subdivision formally.
Yeah, absolutely. So we came across this about 2 years ago. Actually, Doug introduced us to it and said, there's a piece of land down there you should go and look at, which we did. And then it's 15 acres of land. 10 acres of that is being used for single family homes. And the other 5 acres will eventually become apartments, which is not a project we're handling directly. It's been handled by Dogwood and Housing Assistance Corporation, but they're putting in 60 apartments in the lower section of the lot. So this is the top section. It's on John Smith Road, and if you turn right into John Smith, if you're coming out of Rutherfordton 221, turn right into John Smith. It's on your right as you literally go down John Smith Road. You will see on the right hand side where they're moving dirt, and there's various different things going in there. If you go over the little bridge at the bottom where the creek is, and you sort of swing to the right, you'll see there's 2 houses being constructed. Those are the first 2 houses. So there's already something you can go and look at down there. One of my team, Secretary de la Valle, will be there. You happy to, welcome to pop in and just speak to him and have a look at what the houses look like. But that's where the houses are. They're down at the bottom end of the first 2 that have gone in. The main development, however, is where most of the houses will go in. There are going to be 31 houses in total. And the main development is very different from anything we've seen around there. In fact, it's going to be magnificent to living. It's going to have sidewalks. It's going to have large trees. We're planting fairly large trees in the beginning. It's going to have a pocket park in the area. The roads are all paved. As Doug said, it's got curb and gutter, so water runoff is there. It's going to be a proper full neighborhood in that area. And we're busy putting in the gravel at the moment. The asphalt will be going in next. And then they'll be doing the sidewalks. I was with the engineer and the contractor yesterday, and they're still looking at an end of July finish. My guess is probably mid-August it'll be completely done with final sign-off and everything. And we're actually dropping in 2 houses towards the end of August as well. So we plan to put in the first 2 houses there towards the end of August. Just so that you know why I said dropping in houses, we build modular houses. This is not an on-frame. This is not anything to do with what people would consider to be a trailer or anything like that. Sometimes people get confused about that. It's called a modular house. It's literally built to the same specifications as a regular stick-built house would be. All that happens is they build them in a factory and bring them over in 2 different modules, hence the term modular. And we put them on a crawl space, regular foundations. We put the house on there. It arrives about 80% complete. There's 2 reasons for us to do that. One is the turnaround time is much faster. We managed to get the house in there a lot quicker. And the other is it keeps the prices low. But I can tell you, when you drive past these and you get into them, you can walk into that house. You wouldn't know the difference between that and a house that a regular builder was out there building. So we're all contractors. We're all general licensed contractors. And this is done to the same standards. It's reviewed by Shane and the team at the inspections department. So all the normal reviews that you would go through for a typical house is exactly the same for modular. So don't think of this as anything else but a regular house, just a quick way to get it on place in an affordable way. Houses range from, we have 2-bedroom houses, which will be around about 175,000. And 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms are viable. We want to try and keep it under 200,000 as much as possible. The slightly larger houses, the size of the house, the 2 bedrooms are about 1,000 square feet. 3 bedrooms about 1,200 square feet, and then 4 bedrooms about 1,600 square feet. So that's kind of the dimension of the house. There's single stories, there's some double stories as well. In fact, at the bottom of John Smith Road, the two that have gone in there, you'll see typically one of each is a double story, a Cape Cod on the right, and then on the left-hand side is a regular ranch house that's gone in there as well. So yeah, development is just about done. It's taken us a while to get here, and again, with great partnerships on Broad River and from the town, managed to put water and sewer into everything. It's all got tapped with water and sewer. We have AT&T on board. We're going to put fiber in for us, and so we'll have great internet service there as well.
Yeah, it's really turned into an amazing partnership, and you said that before. I know you've kind of talked about Broad River, but Broad River has been amazing with their water line extension policy. You know, they've been able to come in and help with the water service. The town and then the town council take a bold leap to invest in the sewer service there, and all of those investments. What that does is it helps bring the development costs down and manageable to keep those homes in those price ranges. You know, people that have been watching the news and obviously know that inflation has gone high. If you've gone to the Lowe's Home Improvement or Hardin Lumber lately, you notice that a 2x4 and a sheet of OSB looks like it's made of gold. You know, those are things that drive up the cost of home ownership. And, you know, for the town to come in and the town council take the bold step to invest, for Broad River to invest, for Dogwood to invest, and for many other partners that I'm probably forgetting, keeping that site development costs low. And then, like Neil said, being able to use modular construction where there's an economy of scale to materials and the design of the homes, and doing that in a place where it's a controlled environment. You know, when I was growing up, my dad was a general contractor, and, you know, you would see, you know, the weatherization of a home, even during the construction process, affect that long term. You're fine, Neil. We have dogs and cats, and we've had chickens. We've had all kinds of stuff on the show, so don't worry about it. But anyway, building that controlled environment, it's sometimes even at a much higher standard and energy efficiency standard and safety standard from a controlled environment piece than anything else. So the modular is a great opportunity. And it puts the homes in at a much faster, you know, much faster pace. You're still able to use a lot of local trades too throughout that process. You know, it's not just you're bringing a factory home in. You've got a lot of local tradesmen that are going to be a part of this. Yeah,
that's true. And let me also dispel one thing is, very often people think of modular homes or homes that, oh, okay, we only have one design look. We've got over 100 designs that are available. We're probably working with mainly about 20 homes or 20 different designs. These houses will not look the same. Again, if you see the two at the bottom of John Smith, they are completely different looking houses. And we have, we will not allow the same house next to each other or over the road from each other. We're going to control it so it looks like a subdivision that's got different looks all over the place. We don't want to have this cookie cutter look of all the houses having the same shape. So lots of designs, and even within a modular home, there's options. There's options of siding. So all the siding is not vinyl siding. It's a thing called smart siding, and it's so all the siding, the color options are siding for roof, interior color options, choice of what you put on your countertops, choice of what you put in your bathrooms. All of those choices are still available. It's not that you're getting a home that is coming out of a kit and you only get one sort of set of rules and set of standards. So lots of options available. Yeah, it just the turnaround time is a large piece of what works for us. We can place the order of the house. It takes about 4 months to manufacture and then 2 months to finish on site. And to Dave's point is we use electricians, plumbers, and HVAC, and again, if any, I think we've gone out to everyone where we can in Rutherford County. We purposely only go to the counties that we work in. We've approached every single vendor that we know. But if you know of anybody else, if anybody else is out there that does any of those trades, please get a hold of us. We're looking to get people on board right now who will do these homes continuously. So plumbers, electricians, and HVAC, and then general carpentry, roofers. The roof is mostly finished, but there's some finishing that has to get done. And we build decks, we build front porches. So anybody who's involved in those sort of trades, again, you're welcome to connect with me, and we can talk about pricing and give you some plans to work with.
Yeah. And you guys have the ability to do a little bit of customization too. So if somebody working with Terry, they're working with Terry, hey, I want lot number 26, you kind of Magnolia is going to share some of the floor plans and the elevations here in a minute so people can kind of see. You got some ability to, especially if you can get pre-qualified now, maybe have some availability in the ordering process and in the completing process. You're not going to be able to change everything, but you have some ability to make the home yours.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the biggest thing is get qualified. You said, Doug, is that, the process of getting this pre-qualification piece takes the longest. Once that's there and USDA qualify you, you then know what price level you can go at the house. And you might be surprised because Terry can talk about, there's lots of things that are taken into account by USDA, which are not by a normal bank. If you walk into a bank, you would never get a loan at this level at this price. Again, just to give you a quick example, a house that's selling at about $180,000, you're going to go in, let's take $175,000. We've got one that we're doing in Marion at the moment. The person who's qualified for the house earns just under $30,000. They earn $29,000 a year. And they're walking into that house with a mortgage of $650 a month. And that is including tax and insurance. So their mortgage is actually lower than that. That includes their tax and insurance. So the ability to get into a home is phenomenal with the USDA loan program. They take into account far more things than a regular bank would. And that is no money down. You walk in and you just literally get the house. I think the only pieces that you end up paying is some money towards the actual closing costs, but again, that can get worked into the loan itself. So once you've got a number and you qualify for, let's say you qualify for 200,000, and we're selling you a house that would normally go out at 175, you can add additions on. You can say, well, we want to have granite countertops. It's absolutely possible to go granite countertops. If it fits within your price range, as long as you don't go over what the USDA has qualified you for, there are various upgrades you can do. Literally anything, hardwood flooring, granite countertops. So most of the homes come with what's called vinyl plank, and we use vinyl plank and carpeting in the bedrooms. It's standard features. It's all got crown molding. It's all got baseboards. It's all got good trim. And that's the normal standard. So the normal standard is already a very, very, very nice home. But you can upgrade anything from there onwards.
Magnolia, I was going to say, go ahead and show some of the floor plans. And these are really neat. Some of the homes that are there now, they're over on John Smith. So if you go past the subdivision, there's actually 2 lots just beyond the entrance to the subdivision, closer to Edward Street. And, you guys are putting front porches on these things. So they're coming from the factory like this, but you guys are adding some features architecturally to even spice them up even more. But I mean, just to see the number of different floor plans that you guys have and the availability of different layouts, it's going to be neat. It's not going to be cookie cutter. There's going to be a lot of different things. And you've got a mix of 2 bedrooms with 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And then you've got some that can even go, I think you were telling me they come maybe 2 bedroom, but can go to 3 bedroom or a bonus room, that kind of thing.
Yep. The one at the bottom left actually is one that comes with a 1 bedroom downstairs, and it's completely finished. And upstairs is 2 huge bedrooms because it's a really magnificent house. And that's the one that's in John Smith at the moment. Slightly different design to the way that it looks, but it's again, just to show you, that is exactly the same house that we've just put in the bottom, except the one at the bottom has got 2 dormers on it. This has got a front porch and a different dormer. So even within an existing house style, we can manage and change the house styles by putting dormers or a shed roof or a porch onto that and change the entire look. But that's one that comes in with an unfinished upstairs. And so literally, brings the pricing down because we only finish in the bottom, and then we go in and finish the top ourselves from there.
Well, and I mean, just to look at that, so I mean, to put this in perspective, you're looking at a 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath house, 1,400 square feet, 205. I'll just share a personal story of mine. I'm in the process of trying to find or construct a new home here in Rutherfordton. Right before the market went crazy, so this is about 6 months ago, I had a floor plan picked out that was right at 1,600 square feet. So I had 3 bedrooms, wasn't anything fancy, just 1,600 square feet. It was 100,000 higher than that for traditional construction. Yep. And so you guys are being able to really shave the cost, but provide a quality home for people in our community. But then again, to get a mortgage for that home at 710, it, you can't really rent in what we talked about before, 386 units of rentals. The average rental price is going to be around 850 to 900 average. So you're providing home ownership at a much reasonable cost than a rental. And so building long-term investment strategies, building safety, building stability, building family and community all at the same time. So it's amazing. We had some questions, Neil, about the manufacturer. So who are you guys partnering with on the home construction?
Doug, the manufacturers, if you go online and you call up Cardinal Homes, you'll see all the designs that they have there. They're actually renamed themselves to Kadua Homes, and they're actually owned by the Cherokee tribe. They bought over Kadua Homes a couple of years back. So it's an exceptionally stable organization. It's got lots of funding behind it, lots of backing behind it. They manufacture in West Virginia. And then bring the houses over here. They cart them on trailers over here, and So we wanted to go. There's two major organizations that serve the area, and we use both of them at the moment. We're mainly using Cardinal, and the reason is because they're actually delivering at the moment with COVID and all the house prices that went up. A lot of these manufacturers slowed down on some of their manufacturing. Cardinal continued again because they have the financial backing. Another one is Nationwide. You can call them up as well, Nationwide Homes. Look at their designs. They're another design that we use. Both of them been in the game for a long time. Both of them been doing this work for a long time and have some great products out there.
And another question is there going to be a HOA for the subdivision?
That's a great question. We haven't quite finalized that yet. The thought is no. That we'll probably have a covenant for each homeowner that controls it, for a couple of reasons. We just think HOAs needs money, it needs time, it needs leadership, and we don't think that we should be putting that onto the program. We think we can control and manage the way the homes look and the way they get managed through a covenant that says, okay, this is what you've got to do. So really, it's the between, I suppose, the combination of the homeowners themselves and the town, it manages the fact that it stays a nice looking neighborhood. And so that's the thought at the moment. We're pretty sure we'll go with a covenant route.
Yeah, and the town will be, like Neil said, it's inside the city limits. The streets will be turned over to the town. The sidewalks will be turned over to the town. There's a pocket park that's going to be developed as a part of this. That pocket park will be a public park for the town. There'll be some parking there. And so the town will maintain that park long term. So there'll be some town maintenance in there. Obviously, all the town ordinances for upkeep and high grass and, kind of keeping things in the yard. So, I mean, the cleanliness will be handled on both ends. So yeah. We're just excited. So what we're talking about this morning, I'm assuming that's Amy behind the scoop, but what we're talking about this morning, Amy, are the 31 homes that will be for sale. The property will also feature 60 workforce apartment rental units. Those will be managed by housing assistants, and those will be coming online hopefully sometime in 2023, if not early 2024. And we'll have on housing assistants, Ashlyn and the team over there. When that is ready to break ground, we'll bring them on and let them talk through kind of the apartment side of things. But there'll be 60 apartments. They're scheduled for a mix of 1, 2, and possibly 3 bedrooms right now. Yeah. But again, once we get those ready to break ground, we'll bring Ashlyn and the team from Housing Assistance on to talk through those. Today, Neil and his team with Terry are excited with the 31 homes. Terry, I know we are at capacity. So just to talk about some of the demand, you guys are putting on the ground 31 homes. We're going to be hosting a public meeting next Friday, and there's already how many folks signed up?
We have 130 so far, and that's at capacity.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's at capacity, but it's not everybody's only opportunity. You guys are going to be having a few more workshops. I know you're working with the school system and the county for more workshops.
Yep.
If people are interested and they did not get a chance to pre-register for the workshop next Friday, what's the best way for them to learn more about the 502 program to get qualified for homeownership in this subdivision?
They can contact me. I'm Terry at gotothehub.org, And I think Magnolia will share that with you all. And my phone number is 828-803-8199. And I would love to help anyone interested.
Awesome.
And you can get pre-qualified well in advance, Doug. So I mean, don't slow down. In fact, if anything, if you're interested, get going now. Even if the houses aren't in yet, because demand is, there's only 31 houses. We want to do more of these, but there's only 31 houses. So you can get pre-qualified well in advance, and then you have everything at your fingertip to choose a house, to choose where you want to go. We can't help anybody who's not pre-qualified in terms of buying a house. We have to have a pre-qualification first. And just so anyone knows, that the 502 is definitely the best program, but that doesn't mean we wouldn't take any loan program from the housing side. Terry handles 502, but if you've got a regular bank loan and you want to go that route, absolutely. There's no reason we wouldn't have that same conversation.
That's great. Guys, anything else you guys want to share about the subdivision or the process? Like I said, I know we've got that workshop, and we'll share the link to it so you can kind of see a model. Magnolia shared the screen before. The lot size is right around 0.2 of an acre, right? Just about
correct. Most on average 0.2 of an acre. Yeah, there's a couple of smaller ones that'll do the 2-bedroom houses, but mostly 0.2 of an acre.
Yep. Like I said, we'll have the workshop next week. Definitely, be very. I know Neil invited you guys out to go through the subdivision. Just be very cautious. It is an active subdivision. If you go in there, be very careful. The road's not paved, so there's manholes, there's water valves. Just again, be very careful if you're going in there. But it's a great location. The way it lays, I think one of the things that I'm excited about beyond the housing is the method of construction that you guys are using. You didn't go in. It was it's basically a field before, so it wasn't a big, not a lot of clearing. But you guys, a lot of times when you see subdivisions, they'll go in, they'll clear everything off. They will, regrade the entire property, totally disrupt, the flow of the land. But you guys are, using the land to your advantage and building the subdivision around the natural topography and really kind of taking advantage of the views and the way the land lays to install the homes. I think it's just going to be overall, I'm really excited to see it come together.
Yeah. I mean, again, I wouldn't, the invitation is not to the subdivision. Doug's
okay,
right.
Good.
Okay. It's the two at the bottom when you cross over the peak, you can stop there. But if you do want to get out and walk the subdivision, I'll give you a quick secret is the lots at the top are magnificent. The view from the top of this subdivision, those houses, if we built houses there regularly and sold them, they'd sell for over $300,000 with that view. It's a phenomenally good view.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you kind of make the upper loop on the right-hand side up along the property line, that they're gorgeous. And even the ones on the lower road, the main entrance coming in,
the view's great.
So it's just a great opportunity for the town, great opportunity for us to kind of look at housing. And to move this forward. Hopefully it's not our last project with you guys. We're looking at some other infill things, and I'm really excited about the work we talked about at the beginning, the work that Magnolia is doing on the Housing Redevelopment Commission. Magnolia, do you want to just kind of briefly sprinkle some thoughts around that and kind of what we're looking for on the housing plan and when that's going to come together?
Yeah, so we started the Redevelopment Commission back in October of 2020, I want to say, and then we actually started the work a little bit after because we had to recruit people to be on that board. But we've taken a lot of time to actually meet with the community in the neighborhoods and talk with them and see what they envision for their neighborhoods. And from there, they designated 2 neighborhoods in town to be a part of that urban redevelopment area. And we have contracted with Bowen National Research, who also did the housing plan for Dogwood a couple of months ago. And they're doing a more micro level study in Rutherfordton, looking at the housing needs within these 2 specific neighborhoods. And from there, the Redevelopment Commission will take that as kind of like a recommendation on their redevelopment plan. And then after that, we'll go after funding and start trying to get some urgent repair money, try and find money to do some open park space within those neighborhoods, and really trying to figure out how to make those neighborhoods what the community wants, not what the town wants, not what the board members want. We're really trying to do this to build our community, specifically for our community. So it's been a lot of work, but it's just been really exciting.
And people don't realize just the lengthy process it takes to get this moving. I mean, this subdivision now, I had some questions. Where is it? It's off of John Smith Road. So if you're coming on 221, turn on to John Smith, whether you're coming north or south. And when you're headed down John Smith towards Edward Street, the subdivision is on your right-hand side. You can't miss it. Beautiful piece of property right before you get to the creek there. But, this process to get to where we are now, where there's dirt moving and houses being constructed, realistically, this has been about a 4-year process from the town's perspective, trying to work through that. It's been about a 2-year process with Gateway. And, these things take time. When we're looking at projects that pull together partners that are actively involved to bring together the funding needed to put this together, we have a lot of organizations that move quickly, but that just because they move quickly doesn't mean we can get things on the ground quickly either. So we've got projects now that we're working on that will, not come to life until probably 2023 or 2024, but we're trying to keep properties and projects in a pipeline to make that effect. Like Neil said, over 1,000 units are needed in our county. We'll know more when our micro level study for Rutherfordton is completed, but I'd imagine it's going to say, between 300 and 400 homes are needed in Rutherfordton. And that may seem crazy to those that are listening, but when you really look at housing and listen to the stories of people trying to get into rentals or into home ownership, it is a sad state because of the lack of inventory. And unfortunately, we're going to have to step in to make that process move forward.
Yeah, and I have to say that I started, whenever I started my position at the town back in July of 2020, so 2 years ago, that is whenever I first met Neil and Gateway, and that's whenever the conversation started about this John Smith Road project. So it has been literally 2 years in the making, and it is finally coming to fruition. So it's just, I hate that nothing in government happens really fast, but that's just the fact of the matter. But we promise that we are always constantly working and thinking ahead, always.
And this really is, it's not just government. This is a construction issue at the moment. We were delayed 3 months because we couldn't find manholes. I mean, they just were not available in the country at all. So construction is taking a long time at the moment. And we're working with Doug and the team to look for the next round. If nothing else, I've learned just going around talking to people, and the surprise we got. We planned this event thinking maybe 20 or 30 people would arrive. And when we hit the 130 mark, we realized we might need more of these subdivisions. And I think if anything I've learned is that this just needs to be the beginning of it, because when you start looking now for the next one thing I forgot to mention is 31 homes, they're not all going in on the same year. It's going to take us about 3 years. Around about 10 houses per year is what we're planning to do. So you've got time to work through this as well. If you're not looking at something right now, but you're thinking about it later, keep it on the radar. If you know somebody who's coming in or somebody moving into the area, there's about 2.5 years to 3 years before we'll finish this entire thing.
Awesome. Well, Neil, Terry, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. We will definitely have an opportunity to talk to you guys next week. We have that for those that have already pre-registered for the event that we shared on our Facebook page and sent out to our partners. That's going to be next Friday at the clubhouse. We are at full capacity, so please do not show up there. If Neil and Terry host more events, which I know they are, that'll be open to the public, we will definitely get those out for those that did not get a chance to come. If you did not get registered, look through the comments. Terry's contact information, both her email and phone number, are shared. Reach out to Terry, and she can get you started even without going through the informational session next Friday. So we're just excited about this, and we appreciate you guys joining us this morning.
All right. Thanks very much, guys. We're going to leave you in.
Thank you.
Let me say one final thing, Doug, before we leave. Doug and I talked about this area for several years now and what it would provide to our community. And once I heard of the involvement of Gateway, there was a sense of satisfaction that it would happen, because Gateway has the ability to assist us. Hopefully you realize that projects like this, we cannot do it without partners. And whenever Gateway stepped in, as I said, there was a sense of feeling that we are accomplishing something in the near future. And I'll tell you, I drive by there quite often. and it's difficult to drive by and not get excited about what's going to happen. Because I went by there before anything was happening and tried to think about what it would be. Got excited when I started seeing dirt being moved and rocks put being placed and this going up and stuff happening. And then you see all this equipment moving in, and then boom, you see two houses coming up. You start realizing what a terrific project this is going to be. And as excited as we can get to this point, just think about the point when we start seeing families start moving into those houses with children having a home to be a part of and having it here in our community. There's a sense of pride that our community can share with each other, because our citizens are sharing in this development, and that it's going to be a part of our town. And Gateway and all the other contributors that Doug mentioned, thank you for making this dream come true, not only for the town of Rutherfordton, but for all those future citizens that is going to have a home to live in and be a part of this great community. And I thank Gateway and Terry and everybody that's been involved. And we're excited about the coming years. And as Neil alluded to, he sees firsthand the need. So this successful project, you never know what it might lead to in the future. So thank you again to Gateway for your help and support. And great to have you on this morning. And I'm excited about every day that I drive by there. So thank both of you again for being with us.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate it.
Well, that was fun having them on this morning. Mayor, I echo your comments wholeheartedly. I mean, this is something I've been intimately involved with. I know Magnolia has been intimately involved with this process and other housing processes, and this is a fun stage to see it come to life. You know, when we get to work with partners like this, we'll really get to affect the quality of people's lives. Like you said, when we get to see people enjoy home ownership for the first time, for the smile on kids' faces to be a part of the community. I'm delighted to see the neighborhood come together and see what this is going to do. And hopefully, like we talked about, this won't be our last project. No, Kevin, at this point, just for the nature of who's there and the third-party partner, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do a live stream for that event. Like I said, if anybody has any information, Terry is at the go. Reach out to her. Her phone number's there. Her information's there. She will hold anybody's hand through the process. Obviously, the meeting is going to have a lot more formality to it, and be able to provide that information in one spot without having to go to her office or work through her virtually. But working through her virtually is an option too. So just to respect everybody that's there in the audience, we are not going to live stream that. We'll have some information. So we did talk to Terry about getting some paper handouts and some information that we can keep here at Town Hall, but she will be kind of the main point of contact for anybody that's working through that program. All right, let's switch gears because we got a big weekend coming up. There's some events we've got going on and some events that are going on in the community. Today actually we'll start off with this. Today is the last day for registrations on Camp Ignite that the Rutherfordton Fire Department, or Ignite Camp, right?
Spark.
Hey, Ignite, Spark. I knew it was some type of ignition source.
Yes.
But yeah, the fire department is putting on a camp. It is for ages 14 through 18. We've had a lot of questions around the age range. Unfortunately, with our insurance, the children that are there have to be 14 years of age or between 14 and 18. So just for liability purposes, unfortunately, you had to be there. If you're interested, this is going to be, if you're 13 and you're interested, you're always welcome to come by the station, take a tour, and get signed up for next year. This will be something that'll be going on for quite some time. So today's the last day for registrations. That is going to be happening the first week of August. And they have got an amazing set of plans for our youth to do with the fire department. And Magnolia, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I think you've got the flyer if you want to share the flyer.
Yeah, I was getting it pulled up right now.
But they're going to be doing stuff at the fire training grounds. They're going to be doing stuff with Rutherfordton Police Department. They're going to be doing stuff with Rutherford County EMS. doing some in-classroom stuff. They're going to do a lot of hands-on things. It's going to be a fun few days to learn and experience not just fire and rescue, but all kind of public safety things.
Yeah, I think this is going to kind of be like an intro into firefighting, because I remember whenever I was going through the training, like we got to tour the communications building and see like where the calls came in and how they handle whenever somebody calls 911, which was a completely different side that you don't really see or think about. But I believe that they're actually going to be able to do this during Spark Fire Camp. So that'll be it's going to be awesome first because you get to hang out with Rutherfordton Fire Department, but then actually jumping into emergency services in general. So maybe you learn that firefighting isn't your thing, but you're still really interested in emergency management or emergency services or anything like that. So it's just really exciting to see that opportunity for people to come in and learn about emergency services.
Yeah, so like I said, today is the last day to register. You can register. Click the link on there. Register. If you're busy today and you need to register, just call over to the station. Don't call 911. Call over to the station. Talk to Chief Samuel. Assistant Chief Samuel is running that camp, and he'll be glad to get your name down on that. So we still have a few spaces available. And then tonight is also Movies in the Park, right?
Really fast. I just added the link. Oh, here we go. The link for the Spark Fire Camp. But yes, tonight is Movies in the Park. We're going to be watching The Sandlot. So it's just, re-experiencing that classic movie. But we'll be watching it with Rutherfordton Police Department. So they'll be there to sell popcorn for money as like a fundraiser for their Shop with the Cop program.
Yep. And they'll be scheduled to have a food truck, I believe some barbecue, and then also serendipity snowballs, right?
Yeah. So
kind of hot, so we got something to cool you off.
So Rocky Hill Barbecue will be there. I think they're both going to be there from 5:30 to 9:30 or 5 to 9, somewhere in that general time. But Rocky Hill Barbecue is going to be there, and Serendipity Snowballs. So I think they formed like a really great relationship with the police department. So any sort of like outreach event that the police department has, they're always there. So they're definitely going to be there tonight.
Cool. And then I didn't see her on there. She's probably busy today getting ready, but Tasha is working on the adult prom too. That's this weekend.
Yeah, so the adult prom, I will add it to somewhere. It is somewhere. I have so many tabs pulled up on my computer right now. But yeah, Tasia is doing the adult prom event, which is tomorrow at 7. It's 7 to 11 p.m. So if you haven't purchased your tickets already, they will be available for purchase at the door. Okay. So I know that she has got so much going on that me and RJ are going to help check people in and everything. I think we're still going to dress up, even though we're not going to be like showing our moves on the dance floor. But we'll be there helping check everybody in. So definitely come out to that. And also tomorrow, I forgot to mention this earlier, Doug. They're at Dreaming Stone Arts and Ecology Center. There is a Voices at the Table event. So the Rutherford County Food Council is working on having conversations with people about the food system and what we can do to help that food system. So Dreaming Stone has been gracious enough to invite the public in. You can register online. You can get tickets through the Eventbrite. They're free, and you can come. It's from 12 to 2 at Dreaming Stone, but they will provide you lunch. And as a thank you for being there and being a part of that conversation, the Food Council is going to give $15, like a $15 voucher for use at the farmer's market. So not only do you get a meal tomorrow, but you can go by the farmer's market in a later week to get some food too. And
for those that are unfamiliar with Dreaming Stone, where are they located?
Dreaming Stone is out. Oh my gosh, let me see. They're in Rutherfordton. I think they're a little bit outside of city limits.
Okay. While you're pulling that up, I also want to let folks know, last year we started a little thing called Meeting in the Park, and it was an opportunity for town department heads, for the mayor, town council members to have an open invitation to be at Kiwanis Park. We would be there from noon until 1. Obviously, kind of bring a lunch if you want. And just we'll be up on we'll sit up on the shelter. Citizens can come by if you have a question of police, if you maybe have a question of city council, there's something that you want to report to us, don't know how to do that, or just want to start a dialogue of different things. I think back, when we first started this, we had a young man come up and wanted to do a car show, and that car show turned into Coffee and Cars in downtown Rutherfordton. We've had folks talk to us about community projects there. And so we are bringing back meetings in the park. That will be next Friday, the 15th at 12. So from 12 to 1 at Kiwanis Park under the shelter. Come by, sit with us, and we'll be there. Mayor will be there, some department heads from the town, and we'll have an invitation for town council members to be there as well. But just a time for you to come by, start conversation, and talk through a lot of things that are going on inside the community. So good way to connect if connection through Facebook or connection through all of our other things that we're doing isn't fitting in your schedule. But that'll be next Friday from 12 to 1.
Awesome. And so I added the Facebook events for the Voices at the Table and the adult prom. So Dreaming Stone is 382 Pleasant Hill Drive. And then the adult prom is going to be at the foundation at ICC.
Yep. Well, I don't know that we've ever been on for a full hour, but we're getting close. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin. So it's going to be at the Kiwanis Park shelter. So the pavilion where the bathrooms are. So we'll be hanging out there. So feel free to stop by.
Yep. And if you, like I said, tonight is Movies in the Park. If you haven't been by Kiwanis Park, I encourage you to do that. All the money raised tonight will be going towards the police department's Shop with a Cop program, which is their annual fundraiser that provides Christmas to those in need in our community. Last year, the police department raised over $17,000, and we're able to help over 50 families in our community provide a Christmas. And so anything you do tonight through the popcorn sales or any of the food sales, a portion of that goes towards their Shop with a Cop program. I encourage you to go by and see them, enjoy the Sandlot. And I want to give a huge shout out to Paul Rodriguez. He has finished up his wood carvings around the playground area. Definitely you want to stop by and see those. There's 2 bears, there's some foxes, there's a raccoon, a red-tailed hawk, all around the play area. You know, you guys have heard me say this if you're active watchers of our program. We had some trees that unfortunately did not make it through the construction and the playground installation, and so instead of just removing those trees wholeheartedly, we're able to bring some park carvings in there and bring some art into the park. We do have some large shade trees that we've already purchased from a local landscaper or nursery, tree farm, and those will be transplanted later this fall when the appropriate time is to do that, to bring some shade back to the play area for 2023. But the carvings are absolutely beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for the comments. If you haven't gone by and see them, I encourage you to do that. Please be respectful of them. We know everybody wants to take pictures with them, but be respectful of the art that's there, and we're just excited to see them.
That's awesome. And I also forgot to mention, I saw Chris's comment about the wood carvings, but there is yoga in the park tomorrow morning at 9:00. If you're not doing it or doing it at a different time, please let me know, Chris. But I also wanted to, put that plug in for you.
Yeah, Jill, thank you. Definitely not a good thing. Parents, please be watching your children around the carvings. These are not to climb on. These are for generations to enjoy. We do not want these broken off or destroyed. Paul's done an amazing job getting them out there and his talents bringing them to life. We ask you, please do not climb on the carvings. If you see somebody on the carvings, use that as a teachable moment for the appreciation of art and the appreciation of what somebody's talents has brought to our community. But please do not climb on the carvings. Take as many pictures as you want, enjoy them, but let's let them last for the rest of the community.
I want to jump in, just say a few things too, closing. First, I want to add what you just said. Paul has done a terrific job. It is a perfect example of his talents. I hope people go by and look and see he worked exceptionally hard on that project and did a great job. So if you ever see him or go by his shop, go by and thank him for what he did, because it adds to Kiwanis Park. Second thing, just wanted to mention briefly, this past week we had a council meeting, and one of the things that came out of that council meeting is an acknowledgement that we talk about the history of this town, and as a result of the age of this town, some of our boundaries actually go through communities, and that's the reason some of our citizens might live right next to a neighbor that gets city services and they don't. And that reason is we're not able to provide city services to people outside the city limits. So we had a lady that requested annexation to become a part of our town where we could start delivering some services to her. It was granted by the council, and we encourage you, if you are in those areas, come by and talk to our town. We'll be more than happy to explain to you as to where the boundaries are and what the advantages are becoming a part of our town. And it's an opportunity for you to start receiving some of those city services that maybe a neighbor is and you're not. But that's the reason you see a dividing line somewhere, because that's just the way it is. And we have to operate under those guidelines. So if you have interest, just get in touch with us. We'll be more than happy to answer questions for you and assist you if you want to become a part of the town and start receiving those services. We'll explain to you exactly what that entails and what that means. So we thank the lady that wanted to become a part of our town, and we encourage others to get information.
Absolutely. If anybody's interested, I know that it's specifically up on like North Ridgecrest Avenue, where the town limits literally split some properties in half. So if anybody is interested in having more information about that, please reach out to me or Doug, and we'd be happy to talk with you.
Yeah, and we've got a few over on Piedmont Road, and then some down on Edward Street too. So anybody that's interested, please let us know. I'd be glad to walk through that process with you.
Absolutely. And one last thing before we end this hour-long Brewtiful Mornings, our Hilltop Festival, Fall Festival is happening. Our vendor applications or registrations are live right now through our Civic Rec. So if you go to our website at rutherfordton.net, there's literally a little button that you press that'll take you right to the Hilltop vendor registrations. So we're accepting and we're looking for food vendors and civic groups and nonprofits and arts and crafts. So we're looking for anybody and everybody to be a part of our Hilltop Festival. So definitely sign up, get registered. We would love to have you. And those registrations will end on September 1st. So definitely get it in and we'll work with you.
It's hard to believe we're already planning for fall, but I'm excited to have Hilltop. We haven't had Hilltop in a couple of years, just with COVID, with weather. Bringing back Hilltop is going to be an amazing opportunity. We've got a great committee that's working to kind of put together the Hilltop kind of lineup. I'm excited to hear some of the new things we're doing, kind of bring it back.
Should we announce it? Should we wait for another Brewtiful Mornings?
In a future episode.
We are not doing the soapbox derby, but we are working to do something even more exciting.
Yes, there will. Jill just commented, was there going to be a Purple Martin? Yes. So the Purple Martin, we're still kind of toying around with the distance. Thinking, Jill, it's going to be a 4-miler. And so not a K. We're looking at maybe a 4-miler on the Purple Martin race this year. So more to come on that, but we will have the race. We will not have the soapbox derby just due to lack of registrations. Hopefully we can bring that back in 2023. But we've got some really cool stuff planned for Hilltop Fall Festival.
Awesome.
Yeah. What does that have? We'll have to have how many people can we put on StreamYard?
I think up to 10.
So we can get almost the whole committee. That would be an interesting StreamYard.
That sounds like a train wreck. waiting. to
Oh
happen.
no, I think
With
the
how
mayor will
that
keep-
meeting went yesterday, that's just going to be
the mayor will keep us on track.
hopefully.
More to come on that, but go ahead and set your calendars for, I believe it's Saturday, October the 1st this year.
Yeah,
Saturday, October the 1st. Set your calendar. You are not going to want to miss
10 to
the return.
7.
10 to 7. We got you covered all day. We may even have your evening plans covered beyond 7. So keep that in mind. But go ahead and mark your calendars. You're not going to want to be out of town that day.
Awesome. Well, good Lord,
All right,
that was wonderful mornings.
Yeah, I think we did it. I think we hit the hour threshold.
Yeah.
Good job.
And thank y'all for if you stayed with us that entire time. Props to you.
Absolutely.
Even the mayor did, so that's an accomplishment. And I will tell, I've been asked several times, Jackson, my buddy, will be returning soon. He is on a summer schedule, and so he's saving up. I'm scared to death, but he'll be here soon, so thank you.
Good deal.
Yes, we had our episode. I can't remember if it wasn't last week. It was the weekend
2 weeks ago.
before. We had the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation on, and they were talking to us about the extreme hike where they hike 30.1 miles in one day, which is absolutely insane. But Jill, more power to you. I'm super proud of you. But yes, I will be speaking Friday night, coming back here to help run the Hilltop Festival on Saturday, and then going back to the extreme hike on Sunday to speak again. But that's going to be a jam-packed weekend for sure. Housing meeting going to be on July 15th. That's going to be at the Rutherfordton Clubhouse.
Major point here. If you have not pre-registered with Terry from Go to the Hub, please do not come to that meeting. Not trying to be rude or anything with anybody. We can only seat 130 people at the clubhouse for this meeting, and we are full. There's 130 people that have pre-registered already. If you did not pre-register, please do not show up. We're not going to have room to stand and to actively have a workshop. There will be more workshops coming up. If you did not get a chance to register, please reach out to Terry. She can give you all the information about the process, about the program, about the applications. Her contact information, both email and phone number, are listed in the comments, but we're respectively asking, if you did not pre-register because of the demand, do not show up at the clubhouse for that event. We just simply do not have the logistical space to host more people. It's an unfortunate thing. We know the demand is high. We know everybody's interested. That's great. But if you did not get pre-registered, please do not show up. We are working with Rutherford County to host another event, and I know that the school system is looking at hosting some events as well on school property. So more to come on that. This is not going to be a sellout, too. For those that just came in to the show, Neil with Gateway Foundation, this is going to be a 3-year process, looking at about 10 homes a year. So, if you don't get to this workshop on the 15th, this is not your only opportunity for home ownership in this project. So, just ask that, like I said, if you didn't pre-register, please don't show up, just for everybody else's benefit. We will keep everybody informed. As soon as we know more details about future programs, we'll reach out. But Terry is your best contact to get things going. She even has office hours on Saturdays. So if you are working through the week and can't get a chance to get with her, I believe her office hours on Saturdays are from 8 to 4. So Fridays and Saturdays, reach out to Terry, and she will walk you through that whole process.
Awesome. Well, if you have any questions about that, please reach out to Terry directly. And then we will be sure to keep everybody in the know about any upcoming informational meetings about the housing development. But we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes. So we are going to go ahead and play our intro.
Intro.
Yeah.
See you later. See everybody tonight for Movies in the Park.
Yes. Bye.